Why hello you amazing beautiful people, and welcome back to another Kendrick Lamar reaction video. Never did I think that you were all going to be so interested in this journey. I'm being completely honest when I say that, by the way. A few people were asking me to react to more hip-hop artists, and the first one that everyone was recommending was Kendrick Lamar, someone who I didn't even know outside of just in the news this last year where people were talking about the Drake and Kendrick beef, and that was literally it. And I didn't know what the beef was about. I didn't know any stories around the beef. I just saw it popping up in the news and I was like, okay, so some rapper called Kendrick Lamar's having some beef with Drake, and that was literally all I knew. I was completely ignorant to the situation. I don't know any Drake songs. I can't say a single one off the top of my head, and I'm only learning a few Kendrick Lamar ones recently. So I'm very new to this journey, and that's why I didn't expect you guys to be requesting it and enjoying it as much as you all are, because I'm an outsider. I'm like a very novice hip-hop fan. I don't know Kendrick Lamar, so I assume people wouldn't be interested in my reactions, but you guys have been demanding more and more and more. At this point, this is literally an idiot's guide to Kendrick Lamar. Like, I am the idiot and you are guiding me. So, the #1 most requested reaction on my last video was easily this one right here. Drake versus Kendrick Explained to white people. I'm gonna need this because I don't know anything about it. Shout out Josh Johnson, by the way. Link to their channels in the description. Go show them some love for making this video. All of you literally screamed at me, before you do anything, you should really watch this. You should really react to this before we go any further down this rabbit hole. This is where we should begin. This will give us the context I need to properly enjoy what is to come. So that's what we're gonna do today. Now, as is and has been the case with all of my Kendrick Lamar reactions, I'm simply gonna read the comment section on this video, see what you guys are all recommending, and that will be what I react to next. This video literally had over 1,000 likes on my last reaction. All of you were screaming it at me, so that's why we're reacting to this one. So let me know in that comment section down below what one we're checking out next time. Please make sure you support these reactions by liking and subscribing. We're thundering our way towards 600K, so press that subscribe button. And let's jump into my first time ever reaction to Drake versus Kendrick Explained to white people.
I don't know if you've been following this. Maybe not. I just realized how white this room is. I mean, it's pop culture. You probably heard about it. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching this whole Drake and Kendrick.
So is this going to be a video where we've literally just got this guy just chilling and telling us a story? Literally just sitting on a stool, brick wall behind him, telling us a story. Is that what this is? I'm here for it, man. Tell me the story.
My. What a time to be alive.
I like this guy.
All right, so
I like his energy already.
Drake and Kendrick, they are rappers, sir. They're rappers. Okay, just I want to make sure everybody. And I'm not acting like I know. You might bump Kendrick all the time. You might be a big Pimp a Butterfly fan. You know, I'm just.
That's kind of funny. I don't mean this as a shot, but is Drake a rapper? Is Drake a rapper? I haven't heard. I can't think of a single fucking song by Drake. Not one. Wasn't there one called like something bling? That didn't sound like a rap song. Is Drake considered a rapper?
Just checking.
I must sound like such an idiot.
So.
Don't hate me.
Drake and Kendrick's relationship actually goes back way further than people realize, because Drake brought Kendrick with him on tour when Kendrick was like just starting to pop, but Drake was already a big deal, right? And it seemed like they were cool. You see these old interviews, they're in pictures together, they have such nice things to say about each other, and then along the line, something changed.
What changed?
Something happened.
What was it?
And we don't know what that thing is really, but they...
Okay, so we're never gonna find it out. Something changed. We don't know what changed, but something changed. Now, what was that? We don't know.
Both started to kind of like go at each other in small ways. And some people take it all the way back to the Control verse. Kendrick did a verse in a song on, it was actually a Big Sean song. Big Sean is a rapper, sir. I just want to, all of these are just names, and I want to make sure that we're all up to speed.
Okay.
So he did
Big Sean, Kendrick featured on a Big Sean song. All right, I'm there. And Big Sean, rapper as well.
a verse on a Big Sean song called Control, but it blew up so much it became Kendrick's verse. It became the Control verse, which is crazy. And in that verse, he went at everybody. He called people out by name.
Who else?
You know? And he said, I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you. I'm trying to make sure that your fans don't even love you anymore. They love me so much. I'm coming for the crown. I'm coming for everything, right? And just about everybody thought that it was actually pretty dope. It was actually like, okay, hip-hop as a sport. Like hip-hop as, a fun thing, a contest to see who's actually the best. Because everybody calls themselves the best on every song. Eventually, someone has to be the best.
It's true.
Every rapper believes that they're the best, and they say so in their music. A lot like how one city will have several First Baptist churches.
This is like the time I went to New York, and every single pizza place in New York says that they are the best pizza place, and I don't think they all can be the best pizza place. There has to only be one best pizza place. So that's where I'm drawing the understanding from.
When you look around, you're like, one of y'all has to actually be first, right?
Yeah, right? One of you is the best pizza place.
How can y'all even all claim to be first?
That's what's really frustrating, though, because I know that one of those places in New York that I walked past was the best pizza place. But because everyone was claiming to be the best pizza place, I don't get to try the best pizza. And it's the same, I always think about this with psychics. We're going off a bit of tangent here. Psychics, I always think there might be real psychics out there, but because so many people fake being psychic, the real ones just get washed in with the rest of the people who are faking it, right? That's why I always think.
Confusing.
If there is any.
No. And so he releases the Control verse. Now,
this is a fucking awesome video.
Maybe this is where it started. It's where a lot of people say it started.
I'm gonna be honest. This is fucking amazing. This is like this is the Kendrick Drake beef timeline for dummies. This is fucking brilliant.
But maybe it was something else. But Drake seemed to take some sort of issue with the love that Kendrick was getting for that verse, with him being called out, even though he's someone that helped, Kendrick out in the beginning.
So Drake is literally the kid in the playground who has all the toys and doesn't want to share them with anyone else. And when another kid comes with another toy, then he gets angry that the kid has another toy when he's the only one who can play with those toys. I know that sounds crazy, but I actually feel like that's kind of accurate.
But even in interviews, Kendrick explained himself. He said, this is a contest to see who's the best. It's all love, right? But Drake...
Like any sport. Any activity.
Drake has... I'm trying to be fair. Drake has a lot of feelings, and you can tell because he has a lot of albums. And there are feelings on every one of those albums. And some people don't have several albums worth of feelings. Some people only have 4 or 5 albums worth of feelings, And some people decide when to let it out, and he just lets it out on a pretty tight schedule, a pretty regimented schedule of release to let out all of his feelings, And he said, he's like, I just didn't like it. It didn't feel sincere. I just didn't vibe with the whole thing. Because then I saw him later, and he was all nice to me. Yeah.
So yeah, it's literally like you watch the Formula One. They're racing against each other. They finish the race. They go up to each other. They go hang out, have a drink together, right? Everybody you're in competition with, anyone in school, any sports you ever took, anything like that, you still had friends. Maybe they'd be on the opposite team one day in PE class, but you didn't hate them for the rest of your life. Drake's a bit of I'm a sensitive guy, right? Which actually reminds me, if someone called me cinnamon roll, right? And then I was like, what the fuck is a cinnamon roll? My last reaction. And then you guys said, don't worry, cinnamon roll is a compliment unless you're trying to be a big tough guy. Which I am, so I'm upset. Clearly, the vibes I'm giving off on this channel is big, tough guy. So how dare you call me that? But anyway, jokes aside, I'm quite a sensitive guy. I'm a sensitive guy. I cry a lot. I'm a sensitive guy, right? But Drake, he seems like very touchy.
He said in his interview, it was all love. It's just a contest. And then from there, they had like a weirdness. And then there's like little things. You can listen to certain songs where Drake seems to be like digging right at Kendrick, but in a way where you have to really look at it and wonder, right? Not saying his name. And then Kendrick, even does a little bit of the same. But even after a little bit of this had kicked off, they still worked together one or two more times, right? Because Drake was on Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick's album, and Kendrick...
Which you guys keep telling me I need to react to that full album of. So I've got a funny feeling. I don't know whether you guys are going to want me to do the whole beef story after this, or you guys want me to do that album, or the beef story, then that album, then beef story. I don't know what you guys want. Am I going to even listen to Drake songs? If you guys don't vote for it, then I won't. That's fine. Maybe I can listen to them in my own time. We don't really care about them.
Was on Take Care. So there's still at least a professional relationship there.
Interesting to see what you guys vote for next.
Fast forward a few years, and Drake's really big. And when I say really big, he's like what Bad Bunny is now, he was back then, like top in the world, right?
Big dude.
Everybody wanted to be Drake. Everybody wanted to sing a little bit of Drake. He was #1 on Spotify. Every time he released, it was a big deal. And
so crazy that
some
he
people,
was this big,
admittedly, were very jealous of Drake. You know, there were people who started to go at Drake a little bit. And Drake is a good writer. He may have writers that he works with. He may have... But he's also good. It's like when he's making music, everyone in the room is good. That's... I'm trying to give him his I'm trying to be objective, and y'all are trying to lean me into way that's...
Every time they laugh, it's like directs him to like a different side, which is fucking hilarious. Because he's just like, I'm trying to be objective, but they're all laughing, which makes it sound like he isn't being... It's very funny.
But he's good, and so, you know, Meek Mill...
He's good. He's good at hiring the right people.
Sorry, Meek Mill...
Okay, that guy's enough.
Because that one wasn't a name. I just want to make sure that at no point you don't think that this is like punctuation or anything. Because the names are going to get weirder as I go, right? Okay.
They are? All right.
Meek Mill came at Drake, and Drake really, truly, even if you hate Drake, Drake destroyed Meek Mill.
Oh, damn.
He destroyed Meek Mill so bad that Meek Mill had to go back to jail just to level out some of that street cred. Because if you remember, Meek Mill went back to jail for a while on like this weird aspect of probation that they even tried.
You know what's funny? Just of what I've reacted to so far of this video and of what we've checked out from Kendrick Lamar, and my understanding of Kendrick Lamar and him just being this humble, down-to-earth guy, and my understanding of Drake, already I feel like that when Drake ever disses anybody, it's via a flex. That's what I imagine. And I don't even know if that statement is true, but that's what I'm guessing. I imagine when Drake, like with Meek Mill in this situation, and he's like, Drake destroyed him. Why do I feel like that half of the bars would have been Drake talking about how many trophies he's got, how many plaques he's got, how big he is, how amazing he is, how small this guy is? Am I wrong? That's just kind of the impression I get from Drake.
I had to get changed as a law. So then Meek Mill became this like face of changing incarceration and changing the criminal justice system, everything, because he had to do something else for a little while because Drake really ate him up. All right.
All right.
So more time passes, and there's still not much between Kendrick and Drake in this moment, right?
So what's this got to do with Meek Mill?
And then Drake gets into it. And I want to be clear because a lot of people sometimes feel bad for Drake in a way that I want to be clear. He does start a lot of this stuff. He does like have a little thing in a song that implies that your wife is unfaithful. And then when you come at him directly, he's like, what's with all the hate? I'm all love. It's like, no.
This is like those kind of people that you get all the time that constantly give you like backhanded compliments, and then eventually you snap and you're like, why don't you go fuck yourself? And they're like, whoa, where did that come from? Literally those kind of people. I fucking hate those people. Fuck those people. Very annoying people. Also, I'm just throwing it out there. Don't ever feel sorry for a millionaire or a billionaire or anybody like that. At the end of the day, they're crying literally like that meme in Zombieland into piles of money. So I'm never going to feel sorry for someone who literally is like, I don't like this Lamborghini, I'll get a different Lamborghini.
All the hate, I'm all love. It's like, no. the best way I can describe it is that Drake kind of fights like a cat.
You know what my brain immediately did? My brain immediately went, what's another word for a cat?
Some rappers fight like dogs. And so, you know, he'll do a little paw and he'll be like, what's the issue? And so Drake went at Pusha T.
Oh.
Which was a true mistake. This is the thing.
That's a name I know.
About
That's a name I know. I know
people
Pusha T.
like Pusha T, right?
I've heard the name.
You don't want to mess with anyone who's actually had
Did he do a song with the
life.
Lonely Island?
You know, like, you know, Drake grew up in Canada, grew up with, like, it's just, this is my thing. A lot of people come at Drake for, you know, they come in at a way I don't like. They come at him in this, like, colorism way where he's like, you're not really black because you're half white. I don't roll with any of that. I just truly think... But you see what I'm talking about. I'm not. Y'all are trying to get me to do something I'm not doing. I'm just saying.
This audience is fucking hilarious, man. This audience is on point as well. Like, the audience knows when to laugh. They're there digging the fucking grave with him in the best way.
It's
so
very
funny.
hard for a rapper to seem hard, right? When they have not been through what other rappers have been through. Like, it's hard to go hard
I get it.
when everybody knows you had health care.
As a British person, I can't relate. You know, no, it's true. We do.
Because I'm not saying there aren't hardened criminals in Canada. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if somebody knows that anytime you were sick, you could call a doctor. It just takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails of like, I'll kill you. It's like, yeah, but if I hurt you, you go to a doctor immediately. Like,
Fuck's sake.
So anyway, Kendrick
This is a really good
is
video.
still off doing his thing,
This is a
releasing
fantastic
amazing music, but Drake gets into it with Pusha T, which was a mistake because he told Pusha T, he's like, I got more money than you, I got more women than you.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew it would be that kind of flexing. When you have someone like that with that kind of status, that is the only thing that they've got, right? That is all they've got. Anytime you get into an argument with anybody and they start pulling this shit on you, that person is a dickhead. Straight up.
I'm more famous than you'll ever be. And then Pusha T said, you have a son. He released the fact that Drake had a son, which people didn't know, on a track that's cover was Drake in blackface. Everything about what Pusha T did to Drake is why you don't get involved with people like Pusha T. You're like, you know, a part of me felt bad for Drake. Drake was probably like John at the mouth and everything and didn't know he'd do research. It's like, you know, Drake is sitting there like, guys, I thought we were rhyming. I thought we were making music. What is this? And so anyway, now Drake perceivably takes care of his son. And
as far as now, Drake just takes care of his son. Fucking hilarious. Also, like in my opinion, every time someone in any kind of any kind of diss or anything like that, if that one person is just flexing their own shit, they've already lost in my eyes. If I come into a diss with somebody and I'm just talking about how fucking great I am, but don't even mention this person, I've lost.
You know, whatever.
Whatever.
And so fast forward some more, and you would think that Drake
This is actually so helpful,
sort of learn his lesson of like, man, I shouldn't throw stones when I might have a lot of kids.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
And for his part, I will say this, for his part, every time somebody comes at Drake, he does come at them pretty hard, pretty heavy. And he does release music that his fans love, and there are a lot of his fans. I'm saying that's something that I thought about going into this thing where I was like, he always does really try to like give you something, but what he gives is twofold. What Drake is usually trying to give you that sort of earworm, trying to give you that thing that takes you to a place beyond the beef. So now people will still play back to back and songs that were
So in a way, it sounds like Drake is trying to be a hardcore gangster rapper, but also Taylor Swift. You know, he is trying to be this, like, you know, bridge legend, chorus legend, create all these amazing songs that people are going to be like bopping their head to. You know, I'm not saying every single person here watching this video is a huge fan of Taylor Swift. It's no secret. I love Taylor Swift. She's awesome. But one thing that even if you aren't a fan of Taylor Swift, you have to admit her songs are incredibly catchy, right? And then you have like hardcore, hip hop, gangster rap, that scene as well. And Drake basically looked at those two and was like, I want to go down the middle, right? Is that kind of correct? No? Maybe? Yeah.
Responses to beefs he's had in the past, just as songs to enjoy, you know?
He wants to be known for both.
And so this year, Drake and J. Cole started, you know, they started doing appearances together. Like J. Cole would pop up at Drake's concert. And J. Cole is also someone who I genuinely believe is one of the most talented, phenomenal, musically inclined artists that I've encountered. I really enjoy his music.
By the way, whenever I'm no longer, yeah, I don't know who J. Cole is, okay? And so, I have no idea. My word. I'm so out of this. My, like, biggest, like, if someone asked me, like, it, like, told me to, like, talk about any kind of old school hip hop, one name that would come to my head, which I hope would make people go, damn, would be Onyx. There you go. Do people still listen to Onyx? The only reason I even know Onyx is because my dad had an Onyx CD growing up, and he used to every now and then put it on. And that's literally it. That's literally it.
I don't know him as a person. And
other than that, I feel like in terms of the hip hop scene,
amazing,
I'm
right?
just so like,
he is on a couple of Drake songs after they appeared together last year, and it made me listen to those songs. I was like, oh, J. Cole, okay, you know, because I admittedly I hadn't listened to Drake in a long time because I only have a certain amount of feelings. I feel like I got pretty far. I feel like I listened to several albums, and then at a certain point, I was like, I feel grown. Like, you know? And anyway, they do a song together, and then they do a song called First Person Shooter. And in First Person Shooter, they're going back and forth about how great the era is and how great they are. And First Person Shooter is a fantastic song, right? And then J. Cole in the song says, I'm like, you'll forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, but he says, maybe something like we're the top top two, three, okay. And then he was like, is it Kendrick, is it Aubrey, or me? Because we're the big three, like we started the league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali, right? And I guess Kendrick heard that and took it as a personal affront. I wouldn't have felt that, like, if two people were like, man, we're the best ever, and Josh is great too, and I wasn't even there, I would be like, oh, thanks. But I'm not built like Kendrick.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. You're telling me that J. Cole was like, yo, my boy Drake, me, and that guy Kendrick, we're pretty great, aren't we? And Kendrick just looked at him and went, fuck you. And he was like, but why? And he was like, that's it. It's over. I don't understand. I don't get it. Isn't that a nice thing to say? I'm kind of with Josh on this one. I would be okay with that. If any of you want to say that you're amazing and so am I just want you to know you're dead to me. You're dead to me.
You know? And so then,
I'm joking. Feel free to
later,
say it. I am okay.
Later, we would also find out that apparently Drake tried to get Kendrick on that track.
Oh.
So he knew it was coming up, and he didn't want any part of it. And then
makes sense.
I guess he hated that he was mentioned. So then,
So Kendrick was originally supposed to be on that track with J. Cole, which I'm guessing he knew about. So when he wrote the line, "We're the top 3," featuring Kendrick's, like saying his name, he assumed that Kendrick would be on the song as well, which is why he probably wrote that line. Still doesn't seem like a diss, though.
Metro Boomin and Future are rappers that...
Now, Future is another name I actually know, because Future did a song with NF. So there you go. And we reacted to NF. There you go. Done. All right, not bad. Look at me with my knowledge over here, man.
Because that could have been a label name. I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm just making sure everybody is up to speed. And you're right in front of me. That's all that's happening, right?
That's very helpful.
So Metro Boomin and Future, you know, they released
I've never heard of
an album called We Don't Trust You, and on it is a track called Like That. Now, Like That is where Kendrick does essentially the control effect on this song. He does a verse that really made me forget it was a song. I don't know what anyone else said on the song. Right? And on the song, he says, "Fuck the big 3, it's just big me," right?
Oh,
which is also...
That's a bar. That's a fucking bar. Damn, man. That actually is. Damn.
Which is also, hey, I've always said I want to be the best. I've said it from day one. As soon as people started interviewing me, I said I want to be the best. As soon as people started listening to my music, I said I wanted to be the best. This is not out of character for me. This is the same thing I did 10 years ago, right? So, just for me, if it were me, if I was one of them, if I was Drake and I heard "Fuck the big 3, it's just big me," I also wouldn't take it as a personal affront. Because there were other things in the song where he...
I will say it's not that bad. Like, it's not personal affront worthy, you know? It's not like Drake sitting there drinking his golden champagne on his golden freaking throne made out of gold, where someone puts on his golden slippers and he gets in his gold fucking Lamborghini and drives down his gold paved driveway, right? And then he hears this on the radio and it's "Fuck the big 3, it's just big me," and he just flips out, you know, goes crazy, loses his mind, he's screaming everywhere. Like, doesn't feel like it kind of warrants that kind of reaction. It feels more like, what a dick. That it, right? That kind of reaction. Done. Right? It's not that bad.
He came at Drake specifically. He didn't really have much for J. Cole. And yeah, it just sat for a while.
It's funny how J. Cole, I'm guessing,
just
was just like,
what are Drake and Cole gonna do? And then Cole was actually, I think, the first one to release. He released this song they since taken down called 7 Minute Drill, and he went at Kendrick in the song, and then he took it down. And a lot of people clowned him for it, but it's something that even I'm not being a revisionist here. I said this when it happened. I was like, I respect the fact that he took it down. Because it's not something he really wanted to do. And the internet is all gas, no brakes. The internet will get you to mess up your life. Do you know what I mean? People you don't know are like, I wouldn't take that if I was you. What you gonna do? Huh?
It's so true. It's so true. Whatever the opposite of a hype man is, it's so true.
Do something, huh? People who are very safe at home, I wouldn't, if I was you, I'd go at his neck. I'd eat him alive if I was you.
And then the second you do it, they're like, oh, you went a bit far then, man. I don't know if I would have said that.
Do something, Jermaine. Do it. Do it. And so he took it down, and he even said, he's like, I didn't feel like doing it, so it's not even good. I kind of just went at him a little bit, and it's true. In the song, he doesn't even say anything that bad. He's just like, one of your albums was boring. I won't even say which one. And then he took it down because he said, I don't know, this felt corny. And I respected the hell out of that. Very few men, grown men, famous men, powerful men, very few ever apologize.
So fucking true. So fucking true. So true. This is one of the morals and lessons I am literally raising my sons on. It's like, if you make a mistake, own up to your mistake. Apologize for your mistake. Nobody is perfect. I love my dad, all right? He's a difficult person at a lot of times. And I love him because he's my dad. But he will never apologize. In my entire life, he said sorry to me once, and it shocked me. And I always say, do you think you are the perfect human being, that you are flawless, you never make any mistakes, you're just floating above everyone else? No one like that exists. So if you make a mistake, I fucked up, I'm sorry. Learn to do that. It's just so simple. 100% agree. You know what? I'm fucking loving Josh. I'm going to watch more of his videos after this. Has he got any other videos? This guy is awesome.
Very few ever apologize without being made to, with the threat of losing their money, losing their fame, losing something. True. Very few men. So I respect that, and people clowned him to no end. But then the actual beef between Drake and Kendrick started, and that was a lot. Because Drake released a song called Push Ups, and he didn't just go at Kendrick, he went at a bunch of people and, implied that Kendrick's wife was unfaithful, that his son might not be his and everything. And people are like, ooh, what's Kendrick gonna do? What's gonna happen, right? And then, he releases another song, and this song is AI. This song is Drake with the late Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and it's going at Kendrick. And some people had their feelings about that. But then, oof.
Wait, so Drake released two? He released two songs, and one of them was an AI song.
On a random morning, I was, it was right about the time I was supposed to say my prayers anyway. You know your morning prayers? Your thank your God for waking me up this morning, right? And Kendrick dropped a song called Euphoria. And I think when it happened, a lot of people,
I know this part. Yay! I listened to it.
Including me, was like, oh, this is an actual rap beef now in the way that we had in the 90s. These dudes do not like each other. And Kendrick says he hates him in the song. He says, I hate you. He said it a lot. He said, I hate you a lot. He did artistically, but he was like, ooh, I hate you. Ooh.
Yeah, he definitely said it quite a bit, actually. He said, it wasn't just I hate you, it was I hate the way you walk, I hate the way you sound, I hate the way you this. Yeah, he did say it.
Ooh, I hate you. Ooh, right? And, woof. It was a lot, right? And then...
It was good. 3 different freaking beat switches. It was, oh, man.
And then, Drake released... Actually, no, Kendrick released one. He released so many, I actually lost count. So then he released a song that I didn't even get to fully digest because he released, and then Drake released his response. And this was like what Drake had been waiting for. This was like all these, in my opinion, all these years of I was nice to you, and then you came at everybody, including me, and all I'm doing is writing my feelings down in albums and making money. And I just want to be number one. I just want to be the best with feelings. I want to be the best. And so he just took everything that he had, and he put it in a song called Family Matters, right? And 20 minutes later... 20 minutes later, Kendrick released a song called Meet the Grams, which is a real play off Family Matters. And he had said in 616 before, he was like, have you ever thought about the fact that people in your camp are working for me, that everyone hates you so much they feed me information about you, and that there's no way that you're gonna win this because I write so many songs, because all I do is hang out with my wife and my kids and I write, right? This is all that I do. I enjoy.
So you're telling me, and Drake put together a song, right? Drake's there, not writing anything and telling these people to write the song for him. Guys, Drake walks in the room. Okay, and he's like, guys, so this guy is dissing me. You may have heard of him, Kendrick. Now, I cannot write these songs, so I need all of you to write a diss against him. So they go and write the diss. All right, here's the diss, there's the diss, there's the diss, all right? Family Matters. And Drake's there reading it, going, this is great, all right? He goes into the booth. He starts spitting out the lyrics. He puts together this song. He releases this song. What he didn't realize was all the people in that room, they're looking at Drake going, Drake, fuck you. And they're telling Kendrick and his team behind the scenes, by the way, this is the song, this is what the song says, this is what it's saying, blah, 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 blah. And Kendrick's like, shit, thanks, guys. So Kendrick preemptively writes a song, creates a song, so that when Drake drops this, because Drake's team was leaking shit, Kendrick's able to immediately rebuttal with a track that I'm guessing based on that information alone, was probably a point-by-point counter to everything Drake said in Family Matters. Am I right?
Enjoy this.
That's
This is my
insane.
favorite thing to do is just sit at home and hate you and write songs about you and how much I hate you. So I can go forever. This will never be over. We can chill.
Kendrick just sitting there smiling. Man, I really hate Drake. And you know what? Feels good. Feels good to hate this guy.
We can just go back and forth, and I'll release 20 for every one that you release. You keep saying that it's a 1v20, and it is. It's one of you, and it's 20 songs of me every single day until the both of us die. This is old black man hate. You got to understand. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen with people under 60 almost ever. This is old. This is old. We knew each other during the civil rights movement hate that he brought to this battle. And Drake was like, guys, I thought we were rhyming. And in Meet the Grams, you know, he laid it down. He started the song by talking to Drake's son. Talking to Drake's son, being like, I'm sorry that's your father. Genuinely, I'm sorry that's your father because I can tell he's not raising you well, because I can tell he's not living a good life and he's not a decent man, okay? And so if you don't understand this right now because you're 6, play it back when you're 18, okay?
Jesus.
He said lots of things. He said things that are illegal. He said Drake was doing things that, you can listen to it.
I'm sure we will. I'm excited now. That's you know. If anything, this has just made me more hyped for the freaking journey. This is really cool. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching these reactions. I never expected them to do well. They have been insanely well received. Honestly, I thought it was a terrible idea. I was like, I don't know anything about Kendrick Lamar. I don't know any of his songs. I don't know anything about Drake. I don't know what I'm doing. And you guys were like, please just react to some of this stuff. We really want you to. So I was like, fine, fuck it. I never expected you guys to actually be like so on board with this journey. So seriously, thank you so much. If you're watching this reaction right now, just know thank you, because I'm fucking loving this. And this video, this guy Josh, he's an absolute legend, has made me so excited to continue this journey.
Oh. He even had this effect in the song. At the end of the song, when he's like, you lied, he called him a liar several times, and he's like, you lied. I was like, oh, that's too much. And he tells him about himself.
That's true. You can go after someone's family, their children, whatever you want to say, but don't call someone a liar. That's something you just can't take back, you know? That's a low blow.
He talks to his son, he talks to his dad, he talks to his mom, and then he talks to him directly, right? He also talks to, potentially, a daughter that Drake is not taking care of. Which I was listening to, I was like, not again. I feel like once they find the first kid, you gotta just get all the kids. You gotta just have a whole Graham family, just so you know where everybody is. You know? And people go back and forth. Does he have a daughter? Does he not have a daughter? Some people think they've even found the daughter, everything like that.
Welcome to the world of the internet. One person says one thing, the fire is already rising.
I don't know. I mean, it's really bad. It's so bad.
Sounds bad.
And honestly, I never wanted it to get to a bad place. This is something, I'll talk about this more in the future and everything, but I have a deep love, but a strange relationship with hip-hop, because if everything is in music, it's all good. It's when things leave music that things get bad, you know? And so as much as I joke about Drake and I like Kendrick and I've liked some of Drake's songs, I don't actually want them to do anything to each other, you know what I mean? Now, if what Kendrick is saying about Drake is true, we should lock Drake up. We should lock Drake up. And if what Drake is saying about Kendrick is true, we should lock Kendrick up, all right?
Now, I don't know what Drake has said about Kendrick. I'm just going to presume it's not true. All right? I don't know what Kendrick has said about Drake other than what we've heard in Euphoria. So I'm guessing maybe some shit is going to come up later on. All right, so things are going to get crazy, are they?
Because, you know, it's a rap battle, two dudes that hate each other. Maybe they're lying. Who knows? But I'm just saying, this thing, I didn't want to see anything bad happen to either one of them. But when Meet the Grams got released, I think I don't know what Drake thinks, and I don't know what his life is like, especially right now. But I think back to those battles and those beefs in the 90s, and I wonder if Drake wasn't like, I'd like to be shot, please. Like if you could just plug me one time, and then we can smooth the thing over.
Keep it all in music. Unless you're losing, in which case...
Because then, as if Meet the Grams wasn't enough, Kendrick released a song called Not Like Us.
Ah, the
which
famous
is the
Not Like
catchiest
Us.
way to call somebody a I've ever heard in my life.
This is the one that was played at the Super Bowl, right? Never heard this song. The only part of this song I've heard is the random beat that like people use as memes.
You be dancing to it, forgetting what the song is about. Like you know. And then Drake released The Heart Part 6. And I think that's when he lost. I think, because in The Heart Part 6, he's like, this was all part of my plan. We fed you information about me for you to say, so everything that you said is wrong. And don't you feel dumb now that I tricked you? And it just kind of felt like, you know, like what a kid, okay, you know, like when you play rock, paper, scissors, and you do rock. And the other kid does scissors, and you're like, and they're like, no, actually, these are lasers. Ba-pow, 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 ba-pow.
That's too funny. That's Drake's that kid. All right. Oh my word. Oh my word.
Because I was like, Drake, if it was part of your plan to feed Kendrick information about you for him to rap about very well, by the way, like even if those are lies, they do sound good and they sound very true. Even if you fed him all this information about you to rap about.
Why didn't he, if he did feed him this information, why didn't he feed him some information that wasn't as like fucking damning, you know? Oh, you know, Kendrick just comes out and he's like, oh, Drake, I heard that you wear your boxers for like 3 days in a row without changing them. Oh, like that sort of stuff. You know, why? If he was really leaking this information on purpose to Kendrick, why would he do something that seems to be so incredibly extreme? You would assume it'd be stupid stuff. You know, I heard you don't charge your phone every night. You run out of battery all the time. You're such a dick. Whoa. You know, when you ride a bike, you probably take the seat off. That one's a bit funny, you know. That's funnier. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
About to then look dumb when it was wrong. Why'd you send him that stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the worst stuff you could send somebody.
I agree.
Hey,
weird.
Tell him this thing about me that's not true but was true once, and tell him I'm a thing that no one wants to be. So now that it's over.
I love it. Drake's there. Right. Tell this guy, oh, you know what you should tell him? His team's like, sure, Drake. Great idea, buddy.
Because I do hope it's over. I feel like Drake should just release some songs about some feelings.
All right. Who is this guy? Who the hell is this dude? Josh Johnson. My word. This guy, I love him. How have I'm subbing to him right now. How have I not heard of this dude before? His videos are hilarious. What's this? Drake is suing everyone but Kendrick. That's one of his other videos. What else has he released? Why Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show is America. No, that sounds kind of cool. I want to check out more videos from this guy. This guy is brilliant. What an incredible freaking video, by the way. Like, very funny. The humor was excellently well done. I was laughing the whole way through it. The information, brilliant. The information was absolutely fantastic. I really feel like I feel enlightened. I feel lifted up. I feel like I know more now. I'm ready. I understand some stuff, you know? I get it. I get the timeline of events. I get what happened. I get who was involved. I know some names now. J. Cole, that guy. I know him. He was part of some stuff, maybe. I know, man. I know. Damn. That's like pretty cool. You know what's really funny is I'm formulating an entire opinion on Drake that I don't know how accurate it is or whatever, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about Drake, and yet I don't really like the guy, and I have no reason to not like the guy, but it's true. And I know that makes me sound like an asshole, and I'm one of these people who tries to see the good and like everybody, but I don't know, I don't really like him. And people might, maybe I'm gonna get some hate for saying that. Maybe there will be some hate. Maybe people like, right, I'm disliking this video. I don't know. But that's just the vibe I've always kind of got, you know, like arrogant, I think is the word, right? I love some arrogance, I really do, but it has to be warranted. And the kind of arrogance I don't like is arrogance which is, you stay down there, I'm up here, I'm better than you. That arrogance, not a fan of that arrogance. The kind of arrogance I like is like the jokey arrogance, just like, yeah, man, look how awesome I am. That kind of arrogance is funny, you know. I like a little bit of jokey arrogance. And from what I'm getting from this, Kendrick is my kind of guy. I like this dude. Okay, Kendrick really seems like your chilled, most mellow, humble dude ever, right? Just this chilled guy who didn't want any beef and was just doing his own thing. But literally, Drake laid this all on his lap, and he was like, shit, all right, fuck it, let's go. Literally like that. You know, like Kendrick was just enjoying his own vibe, enjoying over here. Even released Euphoria, basically telling Drake, just piss off. Go away, shoot. You know, like he did, like Drake was the mosquito that flew in the window, and he was like, go away, otherwise I'm going to squash you. Shoot, go away. I'm giving you a chance to fly out the window. And the mosquito didn't fly out the window. So Kendrick went and got his swatter. And that's literally what it feels like. It's hard to act tough when everyone knows you have healthcare. Man, every British person ever just like, oh, it's not just England actually. But yeah, I do want to say this has been an awesome video. But yeah, like that's what I mean. Like Kendrick seems like my kind of guy. Drake seems like the opposite of Kendrick. They do seem like complete opposites in that regard. And I think that's why in this situation, I'm just lean and gravitate naturally towards Kendrick, and then have a bit of a disdain for someone who just thinks that they're so damn cool and they deserve to be on top and they don't want to share any of their toys with anybody else. It's not my kind of person, you know. I always believe that if you manage to climb the ladder, don't pick the ladder up after you so no one else can climb. Throw down some ropes, throw down some more ladders, and help as many people as you can reach to the level you are at. I really think you should bring up people with you, not put your foot on their heads whilst you climb up. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Drake a little bit here. Again, I don't know. I mean, didn't Drake like take Kendrick on tour at the beginning, that sort of stuff? So maybe I'm completely misjudging this guy. I don't know. I have to say, the video was excellently well done. I feel like it really did. It literally felt like I went, you know those old school books, which was like blank for dummies? I feel like I just sat down, picked up the book, which was Kendrick and Drake Beef for Dummies, and I just sat here and went through the whole book, and now I know something. I know something. I know more than I knew at the beginning, and I found it very entertaining. Josh Johnson, great recommendation. All right, what the hell's next then, my friends? What is next? Now we've watched this video. What is next? What is next for the guy who is so blind and just to all of this? The guy who was slept under a rock. What is next? I'll always be honest with the things I know and the things I don't know, just so you guys can understand exactly where I am on this journey. And we're at step 1. It's where we are. It's true. I'm not even joking. Someone put a gun to my head right now and said, name a Drake song. I don't know. It's over for me. If someone said, name a Kendrick song, Humble and Euphoria. Shocker, right? Oh, Not Like Us. That's right. Free. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction. Thank you so much for watching. I bet you guys have seen this video a million times, so I don't know if this reaction will be majorly popular, because I imagine a lot of you have seen it a lot. But yeah, let me know what we should check out next. I'm very excited to continue this journey, so let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. I'll read the comments and see what you guys want next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have an awesome freaking day. It's my birthday this weekend. If you guys want to come along to my birthday live stream on Twitch, 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, link in the description. Maybe I'll see some of you there. And as always, you will see me in the next video.